doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Tuesday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us on this Tuesday. A Tuesday that had a very spirited Jaguar practice down at the Miller Electric Center. They're kind of all running together. I believe this was practice number 14 for the Jaguars in their training camp. Again, it's kind of jumbling together when you're down there every single day. But it was a hot one, and it was a spirited one, which also included probably the best skirmish / fight that we've had so far in Jaguar training camp. We'll certainly touch upon that. And, of course, one of the persons that was involved in that was rookie LaQuint Allen Jr., who seems to be involved in a lot of skirmishes. I had him on last week. I know Baloo had him on earlier today. That guy runs hard, man. That guy runs violently, and I think the defense has just about had enough of tackling LaQuint Allen Jr. because he seems to be involved in wherever there's a little bit of pushing and shoving, or in this case, a couple of haymakers being thrown. So we'll touch upon that. Obviously, we'll talk about Travis Hunter. I got a couple of thoughts regarding Travis Hunter coming up here in just a moment. Also, Florida State in fall camp. We are 18 days away from the Seminoles and the Alabama Crimson Tide. We'll talk a little bit of Florida State. In fact, we went to Gainesville last night. We'll go to Tallahassee tonight. We will also make stops at Miami and in Athens as the Dogs, the Canes, the Noles, and the Gators are all 2.5 weeks away from their regular seasons beginning here in 2025. We will also talk about the Jaguars and the New Orleans Saints coming up this Sunday. We'll talk about the Jaguar young players, the young players that showed out last week against Pittsburgh. Ryan Fowler, NFL draft analyst. I've had Ryan on for years. He will stop by. Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4 will stop by. As I mentioned to Baloo, pretty exciting news for high school football fans in the area. You know how good Channel 4's coverage is. I hope you know how good our coverage is during high school football season. Well, Channel 4 and 1010XL are going to kind of join forces this year, and we're going to kick it off next Friday with week 1 of the high school football regular season. So we'll begin to tell you all about that as well. A show in real time as the games are going on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, the multimedia universe. Channel 4, 1010XL. I will be a part of it. Justin Barney will be a part of it from Channel 4. Jamal St. Cyr will have a role as well. Certainly looking forward to that. And again, my Jaguar training camp one-on-one, a man you will hear from in less than 15 minutes, is Jaguar third-year defensive lineman Tyler Lacey, who's had a very big role this year without Mason Smith and Eric Armstead so far in camp. Lacey's role has certainly been enhanced, and we'll talk to Tyler about that. So we're absolutely loaded. We're with you till 10 o'clock. As always, Jacksonville, we are glad you are spending part of your Tuesday evening with us. Every night here on Hacker After Dark, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night and Dylan Denmark. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No, because it is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
You know, since Travis Hunter was drafted, certainly rookie minicamp, OTAs, veteran minicamp, and now the first couple of weeks of training camp, I'm as guilty as anybody. But I think the overwhelming sentiment has been, well, I want to see what Travis Hunter can do on offense next to Brian Thomas Jr. And I still am pretty excited about what Travis Hunter is going to do offensively for the Jacksonville Jaguars. That hasn't wavered at all. But one thing has become noticeable, at least to me, really in the last week, but more so in the last 72 hours. Travis Hunter is a great defensive back. Not a good defensive back. Not an above average defensive back. I think Travis Hunter is already a great defensive back that could get even greater, even better. I go back to the Pittsburgh game on Saturday. And again, the toss sweep, Caleb Johnson got outside of him for 7 yards. I could not care less. When you draft a guy in the top 5 at corner / wide receiver, what are your main objectives? To shut down the opposing number 1 wide receiver or number 2, I suppose, to make plays on offense. Did we care if Deion Sanders tackled the running back? Did we care if Darrell Green tackled the running back? If they're serviceable at tackling, that's all that great cornerbacks need to be. Travis Hunter will be a serviceable tackler. I have no doubt about that. But I go back to the Pittsburgh game for one particular instance where he basically ran the Pittsburgh Steelers wide receivers route for him. I believe it was Roman Wilson. Wilson was running kind of an up and out. Hunter was covering him on the play. And Hunter was going out before Wilson even made his cut. It was as if Wilson was following Travis Hunter. It was bizarre if you go back and watch the tape. Brian Baldinger did a pretty good job on Baldy's breakdowns with it. I saw some of that again today. Now, when Travis Hunter is on defense here in Jacksonville, well, he knows the offensive playbook, which is interesting, right? I mean, that when you're competing against your teammates and you're in the wide receiver meetings in the offensive room, and then you all of a sudden go out with a defensive jersey on, well, you know the plays. So that certainly needs to be mentioned. But there were a couple of instances again today where Travis Hunter was on defense, but it's as if he was running the route. He was waiting for the wide receiver to make the break towards him because he was already there. It's just wild. It's interesting to watch. And now I've seen it against an opponent in Pittsburgh. I've seen it at practice against his teammates. I have no doubt that it will continue, right? Why wouldn't it continue? He's very young, obviously, in his NFL career. One preseason game. If he's already running routes for guys on his first preseason outing, that's only going to get better and improve, one would think, right? So my thought on Travis Hunter has changed a little bit. I am very, very excited about what he's going to do on offense. But selfishly, because I'm into fantasy football and offense sells tickets and offense gets you, the fans, excited, that's what my primary focus was in regards to Travis Hunter. How many touchdowns is he going to catch? How many yards is he going to get? How much will he help Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. and so on and so forth? And while I still feel that to an extent, the level of excitement that I have now with Travis Hunter as a defensive back is also very, very high. Go back to the DeJuan Smoot sack against Pittsburgh. Why did DeJuan Smoot get that sack? Go watch that play. There was nobody open downfield. Travis Hunter arguably took 2 wide receivers out of that play. Travis Hunter's going to sell a lot of tickets no matter what he does. He's going to generate a lot of excitement no matter what he does. And I still know that people want to see Travis Hunter, the playmaker at wide receiver, the playmaker scoring touchdowns, catching balls from Trevor Lawrence, and I'm right there with you. I would not complain about that in the slightest. But I would also be lying if I didn't say that I am maybe as excited, probably as excited, for Travis Hunter, the defensive back, based on what I've seen really in the last week with that preseason opener and what's gone on in practice. Bottom line, whether it's offense, whether it's defense, when Travis Hunter's on the field, it's going to be must watch. There is absolutely no question about that. My Jaguar training camp one-on-one with Jaguar defensive lineman Tyler Lacey. That comes up on the other side, as does your opportunity to get into the Hacker Fantasy League, the HFL Draft, a week from Thursday, the 21st of August. Twin Peaks is the location at Atlantic and Kernan. If you think you're one of the best fantasy football players that listens to 1010XL, your opportunity to get in the 2025 Hacker Fantasy League is definitely going to happen sooner rather than later. And it could happen next, right here on Hacker After Dark.
Get hit by the man in the back, Tommy Mack.
I'm bringing you straight to the gridiron to show you what it's like to put on the Jags helmet and pads.
Fridays on Jaguars Today. Unlocked by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
If your house feels like a Florida swamp and your thermostat's just throwing out suggestions, then it's time to call Duck Duck Air Conditioning.
They showed up fast, fixed it right, and even cleaned up after. My house is finally chilled, and so am I.
Whether your AC needs a quick fix, a full replacement, or just a little TLC, Duck Duck Air Conditioning has got you covered with fast and honest service. Call 904-862-6769 to get your cool back, or online at duckduckac.com. When your AC is stuck, call the Duck.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS, right here in Jacksonville, is the only hair transplant clinic in the Southeast to offer multi-unit hair grafting and the 45-minute PRP treatments. Grow your hair back. Call now for a free in-person evaluation. 904-777-IHRS, 904-777-4477, or visit hairforme.com.
XL Prime Time is back where they belong.
Wait a minute, I know where that is.
Lunch is on Joe C., Matt Hayes, and Leon.
You could lay a little barbecue on us.
From the big #1 Duval Ford Studios.
But somebody else is going to have to cook it.
Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Hi, I'm Michael from the War and Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic, semaglutide injection 0.5 milligrams.
For over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has proudly served Jacksonville from the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard. From archery to hunting and fishing, they've got the gear, service, and know-how to get you outdoor ready. Stop by their full-service archery pro shop and check out their wide selection of firearms. And while you're there, sign up for their weekly concealed weapon classes. You can find it all at greenacressporting.com.
Jax is more than a city. Beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. We haul construction debris or property cleanouts for managers, owners, and realtors. We do it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
My Jaguar training camp one-on-one with defensive lineman Tyler Lacey comes up in less than 5 minutes. Yeah, Denmark, we're in the dog days of training camp. Today was practice 14, and today was probably the best skirmish/fight of training camp. It was interesting and ironic, I guess, because I kid you not, I was thinking about that this morning, that here we are 3 weeks in, 3.5 weeks into camp, and there's been a little bit of pushing and shoving, but we haven't seen a good melee like you see around the league. We had a good one last year. I remember last year, Christian Kirk came off the sideline. I believe was that Buster Brown he came off at because Buster Brown hit Gabe Davis late. It was a good one inside the indoor facility down there at the Miller Electric Center. But we hadn't had one this year, and this was a short and sweet one. But LaQuint Allen and I believe it was Branson Combs, the linebacker, they decided that they were going to turn into Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield for about 10 seconds.
I saw a tweet that he literally squared up to as a boxer.
Yeah, they were going to box, unfortunately.
With helmets on?
Right, both guys had helmets on, so the only thing you're going to do is break your hand. And then I believe Combs took Allen to the ground, and Allen retaliated, and then they got separated. But for about 15, 20 seconds, it was some excitement. And look, I get it, man. It's 100 degrees out there. You've been competing basically against the same people every practice for the last, going back to OTAs and minicamp and now 3 weeks of training camp. They're probably tired of each other. And I think Anthony Campanile, the defensive coordinator, even mentioned it today. You know, you don't want to see a lot of fightings that waste time and energy. But every once in a blue moon, when you see one pop up, you kind of like it because it means the competition out there, the battle out there, the will and desire out there, guys fighting for jobs. So, yeah, it was a little bit of excitement today. No question about that. I did my first fantasy draft personally this past Saturday. In Denmark, I homered up, man. I had the 8th pick in a 12-team league, and I knew I wasn't going to get him at 17. And he was sitting there at 8, and I'm like, man, I'm just going to do it. Call me a Jaguar homer, call me whatever. But I went Brian Thomas Jr. Now, what I did not anticipate doing was also taking the Jaguars' 2 starting running backs. I ended up with Bigsby and ETN much later in the draft. Running backs for my team leave a little bit to be desired. Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby are my best, along with Brian Robinson of the Commanders. But my wide receivers, man, are loaded. I got BTJ, Devontae Adams, Devonta Smith, DK Metcalf, and Chris Olave in a 12-team league. And I got Brock Bowers and Evan Ingram to boot as my tight end. So I'm pretty happy there. That's a 12-team league. But that's easy compared to the Hacker Fantasy League, the league I'm the commissioner of here on 1010XL. We are doing a 16-team league. Now, if you play fantasy football, you are well aware of how hard 16 teams is. Here's all that we're asking. If you think you're one of the best fantasy football players that listens to 1010XL, your chance to prove it is coming up. We ask you 2 things, and only 2 things. Number 1, be available on Thursday night, August the 21st. Twin Peaks is the location at Atlantic and Kernan. All right, be available. The second thing is bring some people with you. All right, we don't want 16 tables with 1 person at each table to doing a draft. All right, that would not be a great environment or atmosphere. Bring the family, bring the kids, or have a guy's night out. However you choose to do it, Bring 3, 4, 5. Heck, bring 10 people with you. You'll have a table that sits 4 or 5. We can add chairs if need be. So if you can be there on Thursday night, August the 21st, and if you'll bring some people with you, then you can be in the Hacker Fantasy League. And here's all you have to do. Be caller number 4 right now at 641-1010, and Dylan Denmark will hook you up with one of the 16 coveted spots, and we're running out of spots. The league is well over half full. We are running out of spots to give away. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Caller 4 right now, 641-1010, if you want to be in the 2025 edition of the HFL. Tyler Lacey, my Jaguar training camp one-on-one from earlier today down at the Miller Electric Center right now on Hacker After Dark.
Now, Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors takes you in the locker room.
Jaguars wrapping up a spirited practice out here at the Miller Electric Center. We got Jaguar defensive lineman Tyler Lacey with us here on 1010XL. Tyler, how'd it go out there today?
It went good. It was a good practice today, especially coming after the game on Saturday. Just coming out here fine-tuning this stuff and just getting ready for Sunday.
Physical practice, training camp practice number 14. Talk about the physicality out there today.
Oh, yeah, the physicality has been up at every practice. So just coming in, strapping up our helmets and getting ready to play every day. So that's the mentality that we have as a defense, and that's what we want to strive to bring to the games.
When you looked at the film from Saturday night against Pittsburgh, what were your biggest takeaways from a defensive perspective? Good things, bad things, what were your thoughts?
Good things, I feel like we stopped the run. I feel like we handled them. I think they had like 60 yards rushing.
Yeah, they only averaged 2.5 yards.
Something like that. And then something we have to work on is probably the tempo, just getting to the ball, getting the call, getting lined up, and just putting our cleats in the ground and playing.
What about you? Third year for you. How would you assess your game now compared to where you were 24 months ago when you arrived?
I feel like it's going up. I mean, I'm still learning as a player. Still trying to get the feel of the game. I feel like I have it, but like just still trying to fine-tune my stuff and perfect my craft.
The fact that Mason and Eric are not available right now, obviously that ups the reps for you and Devon and Jordan. How has that gone for you, getting all these reps here in training camp?
I feel like it's good for me. I feel like I need it as a player to get better, and I feel like I can just take away this opportunity and just get better each and every day.
A couple more for Jaguar D lineman Tyler Lacey. What do you think of Anthony Campanile? He seems like quite the character from the outside. What's it like playing for him?
Oh, he's a rowdy guy. I mean, he comes in at we be here like 7:35. He comes in every morning, same person, same guy. So that's the person we need around us and to lead us as a defense.
A lot of change on this team. New staff, obviously new GM, a lot of new players. For a guy like you that's been here for a couple of years now, what has the roster turnover been like? It's part of the business, but I'm sure it's been interesting.
It has been interesting. I mean, you get close to a guy, you be friends, especially with your locker mate, and then he's gone or stuff changes. It's kind of sad at the same time, but, you know, it's just the way of football is.
You know, I mentioned your third year. You look back to that draft class, Anton, Tank, Brenton, you, Yasir. I mean, go on down the line, Parker, Antonio, Vince. I mean, that's quite the class. I mean, what's your thought on all you guys entering year 3? That's kind of the core of this football team right now.
Yeah, I feel like our guy, my class, we just got to step up this year. I feel like this is our year, and the guys are called upon, and we just got to go out there and turn it up.
As we wrap up, what are you looking to accomplish Sunday in New Orleans?
What do I look to accomplish? Getting after them, being physical, and stopping the run.
Tyler Lacey. Tyler, best of luck. We'll be watching.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
There you go. Tyler Lacey, defensive lineman for the Jacksonville Jaguars. As always, thank you to the Jaguars PR staff for helping us out get these one-on-one conversations on Hacker After Dark. Tyler Lacey has benefited a lot. I mean, look, we talk so much about Eric Armstead and Mason Smith currently being unavailable, but think about what that's done for a Tyler Lacey, for a Jordan Jefferson, for that matter. Devon Hamilton trying to work his way back to where he was a couple of years ago as well. Now, there is no doubt that Mason Smith and Eric Armstead need to get back for us to feel pretty confident about that interior defensive line. Because obviously James Gladstone, Liam Cohen, and Tony Baselli did feel confident about that interior defensive line this offseason. You think about all the change on this roster, and it was massive, and it was basically everywhere with the exception of the interior defensive line. They didn't draft anybody on the interior defensive line, and they really didn't sign any free agents for the interior defensive line. The plan was, and I suppose still is, in whatever order you want to put them in, Armstead, Smith, Hamilton, Lacey, Jefferson, and we'll see if that ultimately can come to fruition if/when Eric Armstead and Mason Smith can find their way back onto the field. But I've talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I know, again, am I complimenting Trent Baalke for a job well done during his tenure here in Jacksonville? No, of course not. But if you want to give him his flowers for anything, the 2023 draft class appears to be a good place to start. And the last time I brought this up a couple of weeks ago, inevitably, and this always happens, and I get it, some Jaguar fans, well, some people are just anti-Jaguar in this city, and you can't say anything positive because they'll find flaw with it. And that's how just some people are. But there are other Jaguar fans that I firmly believe have been beaten over the head by this franchise for the last 15-plus years, that they, too, will just simply find flaw with anything positive you try to bring up. And I had people telling me, oh, well, that's Jaguar good. That's not NFL good. Well, you got to start somewhere, ladies and gentlemen. You got to start somewhere. And maybe it is only Jaguar good, but it's a place to start. In that 2023 draft class, I mean, let's take stock here. Anton Harrison is going to be your starting right tackle. Brenton Strange is going to be your starting tight end. Tank Bigsby is either going to be a starter or 1A as your running back. All right. Ventrell Miller is going to get a ton of play at the linebacker position. Antonio Johnson may be your starting safety. He's going to be on the roster. Parker Washington has had the best camp of his career and one of the best camps on the roster to this point. He will absolutely be here. Yasir Abdullah is listed as a starter right now. And Tyler Lacey is going to get a lot of run in the middle of that defensive line. Those are all from the 2023 draft class. 9 guys. You're talking about 20% of your roster because all 9 are going to make the 53, right? Is my math right on that, Denmark? 9, 18, 27, then 20%. Maybe,
you are the math person.
Yeah, maybe 17%. How about that? 17%, whatever. You know, you get the gist. 9 of the 53 are from the 2023 draft class. And whether it's Jaguar good, NFL good, or whatever good you want to describe it as, it's a good draft. And it goes to show you proof right there that you cannot judge a draft class until minimum 2 or 3 years after the draft is in the books. So again, thank you to Jaguar defensive lineman Tyler Lacey. Coming up next, my buddy Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. Let's talk camp. Let's preview New Orleans. Let's look back on Pittsburgh. And let's tell you about a new show and kind of an exciting new venture that Channel 4 and 1010XL are going to collaborate on when it comes to Friday night high school football here in our area. My buddy Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4 next on Hacker After Dark.
We've all seen great overtime games and thrilling finishes, but when it comes to having a big time, knowing when to say when is key. Budweiser reminds you to win the day and night by designating a driver. That's a victory every time.
Summer's winding down, and we know you want to enjoy what's left of it. But before you celebrate this Labor Day weekend, plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, got a minute?
Always. What's on your mind?
This time of year, my air conditioner is running non-stop. Hot all day, hot all night. It has to run constantly just to keep up.
Well, that's what they do.
But if something happens to it in the middle of a 2-week heat wave, I'm in trouble, Jason. I can't wait 3 days or 2 days or even the next day for service. If you can't get someone here today, I'm sweating by tonight. What if it breaks, Jason?
You call me, pal. That's That's what we do. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
But you're probably swamped with calls from everyone else's AC that ran nonstop and then broke in a heat wave, so they called you because that's what you do.
But we always have room for an emergency. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we have techs standing by because we know these things happen.
So I don't need to worry. Wow. That time you calmed me down without even using the sunglasses.
Oh, I was reaching for them.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Guys, your lawn's the home field. Now you can champion your St. Augustine grass. TopDressing.com just hit Jacksonville with a game-changing patented process. Aerate and transform your turf into a fairway-worthy masterpiece. Less water, shorter cuts, and the envy of every neighbor. No one else delivers a perfect 10 lawn like this. Visit TopDressing.com and dominate your block with the same process that golf courses use. Top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
What is 1010XL's Jeff Prosser's favorite movie? The answer next.
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Believe it or not, Jeff Prosser's favorite movie is The Wizard of Oz.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
With Lee and Kate's glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit LeeandKatesGlass.com.
With Lee and Kate's glass, you're gonna see a big difference. Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
Yo, Jacksonville, Hickens Hype. Checkmate Coatings crushes it with floors I'd put in my own pad.
I'm Brendan with Checkmate Coatings. We coat it all. Garages, pool decks, driveways, and patios. Be the envy of your neighbors.
Rush to checkmatecoatings.com. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Saints this Sunday at 1 o'clock, preseason week number 2. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL radio. Let's talk Jaguars. Let's look back to the Steeler game on Saturday. Let's look ahead to New Orleans and all points in between. And let's let you know about a new adventure, I guess, that both Channel 4 and us here on 1010XL are going to embark with together in regards to our high school football coverage. My buddy Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4, always kind enough to join us here on Hacker After Dark. Jamal, how we doing?
What's going on, Hacker? How you doing, man?
I'm good. It's a busy time for everybody, so thank you for taking time out. And we're going to talk Jaguars, certainly. But I mentioned this last night. You know, the high school football regular season kicks off next week. You guys at Channel 4, you and Justin and everybody do such a great job over there. We like to think we do a pretty good job here on 1010XL. And I guess the powers that be are merging us together for this new adventure beginning next Friday on the multimedia platforms for both you guys and us. A show, if you will, that will kind of be in real time as these games are going on Friday night. Justin Barney, myself, I know you'll be involved as well. It'll be a lot of fun with the folks at Channel 4 and us here on 1010XL.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I mean, high school football and a combination of Channel 4 and 1010XL, I don't think it gets much better than that. I mean, I can't wait to listen to you guys. I'll be out popping around the games and trying to bring you guys some stuff back. But you and Justin, I mean, just the wealth of knowledge that you'll be able to do and kind of react to some of the games as they're going on. And, you know, we've had some wild stuff happening around here. So I can't wait for high school football. It is always one of my favorite times of year, honestly. And I love getting to be a part of the high school football stuff. So I always love being able to add a new layer, to what we all already do.
And we'll obviously talk more about it next week leading up to the first show on Friday. But, yeah, a show in real time as these high school games are going on. Justin Barney and myself, Channel 4 and 1010XL will give you a broadcast on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm certainly looking forward to that. Jamal, it was fun last Saturday in spurts, right? There was also some things that weren't very fun. That would be the pass defense for the Jaguars. As we shift gears to the hometown team here, your overall takeaways from preseason game number 1 last week.
It's preseason. Look, I don't think I have a huge red flag. I know people kind of freaked out a little bit. Look, the playbook wasn't open on defense. The playbook wasn't open on offense. Were there things that still need to be cleaned up? Yes. If they won that preseason game, would that make anybody feel better about what they were going to do this season? No, it shouldn't. So, look, I think my biggest takeaway, I think Travis Hunter looks really good on the defensive side of the ball, but that's something that I already kind of felt pretty good about after watching him on the practice field. I think Trevor Lawrence looked pretty decisive back there and in control of the offense, which I think is really good. I think Cam Little has infinite range. I mean, you talk about a kicker nailing a 70-yarder. It don't get too much better than that, does it? I think those are probably my biggest takeaways that I saw during the game than anything else. And Tootin, Tootin runs hard. I think he was a guy that, he's got juice where he's in the open field. But, I mean, that touchdown run, he dropped his shoulder and pushed the pylon in there, got a little help from his offensive line guys. So, I mean, those are the things that I take away. I like watching the end-of-roster guys in these preseason games more than the starters because, I mean, even Trevor said it after the game, it's tough to get in a rhythm when you know you're only going to play like one drive. So, a lot of the guys aren't, for those kind of guys, they're not cranking it up to 100 for a preseason because they know they're not going to get many reps. And once they get going, it's time for them to go hang out on the sidelines.
Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. Jamal, I completely agree with what you said about Travis Hunter as far as the defensive back. And I look, nationally, people wanted to point out that Caleb Johnson missed tackle. All right, whatever. You're going to trade for a cornerback in the top 5. You're going to give him a first-round pick. I'm much more interested in him shutting down opposing wide receivers and also doing work on the offense than I am him tackling running backs on toss sweeps. He'll learn from that mistake. But the DeJuan Smoot sack in particular, you could say that was Travis Hunter because Hunter on the field actually ran Roman Wilson's route for him, the wide receiver for the Steelers. It was a wild play. Hunter was basically waiting for him to cut. And then today I saw it again. Hunter's on defense. He knows the offensive playbook, obviously, here in Jacksonville. But Hunter is waiting for wide receivers to go into their route. It was the craziest thing ever. I mean, I think Travis Hunter needs to be out there more as a defensive back, Jamal.
Look, I think he's going to play a ton on both sides of the football. Hacker, I talked to Brian Thomas last week before the preseason game, and I asked him about Travis Hunter and said, I think I asked him something like, is it tough going against Travis Hunter because he knows what you're going to do? And Brian just kind of laughed it off, said, well, he doesn't know the calls, but he has really good route recognition because he understands splits, he understands route combinations, and he's really good at understanding that. And that's what we saw during the game, is that route recognition, that understanding of what receivers are trying to do. And that's what makes him a threat on both sides of the football, both at corner and at wide receiver, because he understands the nuances of both positions, which makes him him being a good wide receiver makes him a better corner and so on and so forth. So I think we're going to see him a lot both ways. I mean, Liam Cohen, James Gladstone, they've both openly talked about the reason they started him heavily on the offensive side of the football wasn't that they saw him as a better wide receiver or as exclusively as a wide receiver. It's because they needed him to learn the playbook. And they knew that while he's a physically gifted athlete, there are nuances and timings to running Liam Cohen's offense and being a wide receiver that he needed to work on. And we've seen some of that stuff from him during training camp. I mean, there was one rep that we actually caught video of Liam Cohen talking about it to John Gruden. Well, Travis Hunter went one-on-one with Jordan Lewis, and he set him up. Beautiful route, goes up, makes the catch, but he sets him up and kind of breaks off Lewis to where Lewis kind of stumbles and almost was there to disrupt the route, and it made it a tougher catch for Hunter because he was able to kind of like upset, like off balance Lewis into the route to disrupt it. Hunter was able to still, because he's a fantastic athlete, go up, make the catch, make the play. But you got to break that guy off. If you're out breaking, break him off to the inside. So, I mean, there's the little nuances of being a receiver that he's still learning, and that's why they wanted him to spend more time on task there. I think he's going to play a ton both ways. It wouldn't surprise me if when it's all said and done, he plays a little bit more at corner than he does at receiver, because he is so gifted there, and his ball skills at cornerback, I mean, they're just different. There was a pass that I swear Trevor was trying to throw away today that Travis Hunter laid out for and tried to dive and catch. And the referee said, you know, it was incomplete, but Travis had it in his hand. He just couldn't get the toes down. I mean, plays like that, you can't, most corners can't make those, Hacker.
No, they can't. And again, I think Travis Hunter has been very, very good as a DB. Obviously, the wide receiver situation. Brian Thomas Jr., look, I think he's been up and down in camp. And I got to tell you, Jamal, as good as Travis Hunter has been at wide receiver, and he's been good, you and I are out there every day. By the way, I have no idea how you tweet as fast as you do. Jamal St. Cyr is a national treasure. I mean, he's out there 11 on 11. He's putting out the information like nobody's business. He's a must-follow on social media. Parker Washington has had a phenomenal camp. Every day, that guy does something. He did a couple of things today that just make you shake your head. I don't know what it's going to mean come September and October, Jamal, but it's been really, really, quite frankly, joyous to watch Parker Washington, because I think he's been one of the best offensive players in camp so far.
I think the two guys that are going to make the ability for Travis Hunter to flip-flop both ways the most are Jarian Jones and Parker Washington. Both of them have had pretty solid camps. They've done good things, but they need to be able to play on those downs where you don't have Travis on the field. Those are the next men up, especially if there's an injury. So you need them to be able to go. Look, yeah, I'm with you. Parker's had a crazy camp. You hated to see him drop that pass during the preseason because he's been so good on the training camp field. I mean, he went and got one over Jordan Lewis today. Then there was one during the team period where he dives out and lays out to go get it for a touchdown. I mean, Parker Washington has been making plays, man. It is crazy how consistently he's made plays throughout camp. I think it's tough for them to not take notice of Parker at this point because he's just been so consistent. He was just, I mean, today might have been one of his biggest days, and that's not to say that he hasn't had other big days. He's just made a ton of plays out there.
Final moments, Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. We're, three and a half weeks into camp. We're approaching preseason week 2. You said you weren't concerned on Saturday, and I tend to agree with you. There were some things that bothered me, but at the end of the day, it's still 26 days away from the opener against Carolina. Having said that, Jamal, the offensive line and the pass defense, at what point will those two things concern you?
I'll be down there for joint practices in Miami. If the Dolphins shred them, then I'm waving the red flag. The joint practices are very pointed. They're very scheduled. The coaches go in with these exact things that they want to get looks at, and they want these things are uber competitive. That joint practice is going to be more competitive than the preseason game, especially because they only have one joint practice between the two teams. They're going to go out there and they're going to get some work and they're going to get some looks. If the defense gets shredded by that Miami offense, then all of a sudden I'm waving the red flag, and at that point, yeah, it's a point of concern. Until then, look, Josh Hines Allen looks good. And I think when he cranks it up week 1, that clock for quarterbacks is going to speed up. I think Trayvon Walker's had some really good plays that he's made. I think that's going to make that secondary's life a little bit easier. And again, just like Trevor said after the game, I don't think those guys were, probably cranked up to 10 because they knew they were only going to get one series.
Yeah, that's fair. In fact, Trevor only threw 7 passes. He completed 6 of them for 43 yards. Jamal, final question. We got 60 seconds. Your biggest, look forward to, what are you hoping to see Sunday in New Orleans?
Biggest thing that I want to see Sunday in New Orleans, I want to see more of Bashaw Tootin. He had that tough run, but you need to see if he can be the guy. Whether it's this year or if it's in the future, I think they need to get a long look at Tootin.
I agree. And with Quint Allen Jr., maybe he can get in a skirmish with somebody that's not his teammate. That guy runs hard, man. That's like 3 of them, Jamal. It's 3 times that I can count that I think the defense is just simply getting tired of tackling that guy.
Yeah, look, he runs tougher than I gave him credit for. I've been on the LaQuint Allen bandwagon as a guy who's going to play for this team and play early since they drafted him. So, yeah, I'd like to get a long look at him. And I like Jackson, but I think they're going to try and hide Jackson. So I don't know if we'll see too much of him during the preseason.
Jamal, tell the good Jaguar fans here in the city of Jacksonville about Teal the Show, Channel 4, and the coverage you guys will have in the coming days.
Yeah, look, we've cranked up Teal the Show. So over on Channel 4, Monday and Friday nights at 11:20, you can come hang out with me. We're talking Jaguars. We'll do it until whenever they're done. So we got that. And then for home games this year, we're hanging out live at the Slab, and we're going to do what we're calling a Teal Gate. So we'll be live over there for an hour, do a little TV and count you down to kickoff, have a little fun with the folks over there at the Slab and everything. So week 1, if you're at the Slab, come see us. If not, you can tune in to Channel 4. That's going to be from 11 to noon.
No, that'll be awesome. No, I'm looking forward to that. No question about it. Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. Also looking forward again. Next Friday night, we'll kick it off. A collaboration effort between Channel 4 and us here on 1010XL as we enhance our high school football coverage with a live show as the games are going on from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock on most of Channel 4 and 1010XL's social media platforms. Jamal, appreciate it, man. I'll see you out there at practice on Thursday.
All right. See you, Hacker.
Former Jags middle linebacker Tom McManus brings some grit to the ladies of helmets and heels.
You do it as tough as it is possible to do.
Catch the new look helmets and heels afternoons 2 to 4.
And you do that in all things.
On 1010XL.
Jaguars football is officially back. Be there as number 2 overall draft pick Travis Hunter, quarterback Trevor Lawrence, and new head coach Liam Cohen take the field for the first time during the 2025 NFL regular season. Secure your seats for when the Jaguars take on the Panthers September 7th by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
You waited forever for your new fence. Then strangers show up. Subcontractors rushing the job. Sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. Their professionally trained builders deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts. Just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
In late July, Florida's unforgiving heat beats down on the practice field. Every time something you need to know happens at training camp, you'll hear about it on 1010XL. Covered by Green Acres Sporting Goods and Roland Reach Plumbing.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Football season is back, baby. Hicken here, and I know I'm excited to get back to watching some ball over the weekend. But with the fun comes responsibility. Taking care of your skin while outside, extremely important. We know it feels like 100 out there, and that sun is blazing. Make sure you bring the screen while loading up all that tailgate. It's simple. Protect your skin. It's the Sunshine State. To help you protect your skin, Beaches Dermatology is here. I've been going to them for years, and my skin thanks me for it. Book your appointment today at beachesdermatology.com.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your national builder of the year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
Need or want cash? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. Glad you're with us. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL at 92.5 FM. Coming up towards the top of the 9 o'clock hour, another Jaguar training camp one-on-one with tight end Hunter Long. Had the opportunity to catch up with one of the new Jaguar tight ends earlier on down at the Miller Electric Center. You will hear that conversation. Also, Ryan Fowler, who's been one of my draft guys for years, also now has morphed into an NFL analyst as well. We'll talk to Ryan about Jaguar training camp. And I want to get his thoughts on some of the young players, particularly the two running backs, Bashal Tootin, LaQuint Allen Jr., and the two offensive linemen. Look, in a preseason football game, I will be totally honest and transparent with you. I did not spend a lot of time watching the footwork or the hand placement of the offensive line. However, in the days since Saturday, I have certainly read, watched, and heard from a lot of people in and out of the Jaguar organization that were very, very high on what Wyatt Milam and Jonah Monheim did, the two rookie offensive linemen. Milam, the third-round pick out of West Virginia, Monheim, the seventh-round pick out of Southern Cal. So I'm going to ask Ryan Fowler about both of those guys as well. So we'll do a little deep dive into the Jaguar roster, focusing on the young Jaguars with Ryan Fowler. That comes up in about 25 minutes or so. Denmark, a lot of joint practices going on around the NFL today and this week. Of course, the Jaguars only have the one against the Miami Dolphins. And my question is this. We saw the starters on offense for a series. Did we see the defensive starters for two series? I think we did on Saturday, right? I know Pittsburgh went down and scored. I want to say the defensive starters came back out and got a stop on the second series. But regardless, they did not play an entire quarter. Knowing they have a joint practice next week against Miami, which means they're probably not going to play in the game against Miami on Saturday the 23rd, one would think that they're probably going to see some action on Sunday in New Orleans, and I thought that up until today. Very physical practice, full pad practice on a Tuesday, including some goal line, tackling to the ground. From what I've heard, Thursday, they have a day off tomorrow. Thursday is going to be almost like another scrimmage type setting, but this time Miller Electric Center, no fans, but very similar to a scrimmage. If you're putting them in a full pad practice on Thursday in a scrimmage type setting, I then would be sort of surprised if you saw a lot of guys play on Sunday. What's your thought there?
I've heard a lot of people say the same thing about Sunday, and I've heard split answers even going back to the weekend. I would have, after the game, I would have leaned that they were not going to play. Just because, I mean, they only played a quarter, and every team does something different. Like, we've seen Cincinnati change their mind on how they want to do their preseason. Philly didn't play any of their guys. So every team is a case-by-case situation now that the preseason's 3 games. But I don't think I would expect the starters to play the main guys in the preseason next Sunday against the Saints or the following Saturday against the Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that I feel that way too, but I think that's the direction it's going because, again, they're off tomorrow. If Thursday really is kind of a scrimmage type setting, to me, there's no way then you put them back in a game setting with more hitting 2 days later, at least the starters. I just can't imagine that happening. But we'll know more seeing how physical Thursday is. I'll tell you, I thought today was pretty physical, no doubt about that. 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. We'll take you up till 9 o'clock, or till 10 o'clock rather, as we do every night. It is the 9 o'clock hour, but we will take you up till 10 o'clock as we do every night here on Hacker After Dark. Again, my Jaguar training camp one-on-one with Jaguar tight end Hunter Long, also NFL draft and NFL analyst Ryan Fowler, and we will make a stop in Tallahassee later on in the 9 o'clock hour. We were in Gainesville last night to check in on Florida camp. What's going on with Florida State camp as the Seminoles, 18 days away from the Alabama Crimson Tide. Kurt Weiler of Tomahawk Nation stops by as well. We're loaded for the next hour right here on Hacker After Dark.
What the? Jacksonville Sports Radio. What is this place? This is 1010XL.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Beth, you're in charge of ordering the tacos for the meeting today, yeah?
I'm not going to order the tacos.
What?
I'm going to Easy Cater the tacos. With Easy Cater, you can order from a huge variety of restaurants, track expenses, and save time.
Nice.
Oh, by the way, you're emailing the meeting notes, right?
No, I'm going to easy mail them. Where's my music?
Sorry, Ben. There's no Easy Cater for that.
Easy Cater, the easy way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 12, 1994, the MLB Players Association goes on strike, leading to the cancellation of the World Series. A dark day for baseball.
Got a clogged drain that just won't quit? It's time to bring in the pros. Duck Duck Rooter.
I called Duck Duck Rooter for a clogged kitchen drain. They showed up fast and had it cleared in no time. No mess, no stress.
We've seen it all. Grease clogs, hairballs, mystery goo from the deep. Whatever's blocking your pipes, we'll get it flowing again. Call 904-862-6769 now to schedule your drain cleaning service. That's 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the duck.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Denny Thompson here. Look, don't get left in the dark. We're all trying to reason with hurricane season, so at least be prepared. For top-of-the-line generators in Jacksonville, I turn to Tyson. Licensed pros at Tyson deliver reliable, whole-home standby generators and provide fast repair service. They even do custom installations for local businesses, so don't wait. Ensure seamless installation and peace of mind. Call Tyson now, 904-762-1000 for a free estimate on generator services. TysonInc.com.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast, but Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a slip and slide gone wrong? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Cleaning Freaks at Zero Res. Great time of the year to get your house Zero Resified. And right now, you can get your entire home cleaned from Jacksonville's ultimate carpet cleaner. You'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $135. Plus, they're throwing in a free hallway and take $100 off the air duct cleaning. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com or call 287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
A Jaguar training camp one-on-one with Jaguar tight end Hunter Long comes up in just moments here on Hacker After Dark. You know, the criticism that Travis Hunter is going to get nationally is going to be unbelievable. The littlest thing that he does wrong will get just absolutely dissected. I saw CBS Sports did their first round grades for rookie debuts in the preseason last week. Travis Hunter got a B-. And it says here, 2 catches with 1 glimmer of yak yards after catch. On defense, he played 8 snaps and looked as advertised in coverage, but he missed a tackle, which wasn't much of a problem at Colorado or Jackson State. So they knocked him to a B- for missing a tackle on a toss sweep. Whatever. One thing I will say about Travis Hunter, and I talked in the first hour about how excited I am about the defensive back aspect of him. I'm much more excited about that than maybe I was a few weeks ago. I think it was James Palmer. I want to give credit where it's due. I believe it was James Palmer. It was, don't quote me on that, but I believe it was. He filled in for the Rich Eisen show, I want to say yesterday or today. And he made an interesting point. And his point was, all right, with Travis Hunter, you don't know if you're planning to play Jacksonville, what exactly the plan is for Hunter. You're going to have to dedicate part of your week to Travis Hunter, the wide receiver. You're going to have to dedicate part of your week to Travis Hunter, the defensive back. Wouldn't it be interesting if you're Liam Cohen and James Gladstone and Tony Baselli, if you want to play chess and not checkers, if maybe 1 week when you know the opposing team has dedicated a lot of timing, resources, and practice to saying, all right, we got to stop Travis Hunter, the wide receiver. What if you back him off a wide receiver that week and put him more out there as a DB? You could play mind games with other teams because they're going to have to prepare for Travis Hunter on offense and Travis Hunter on defense. And knowing that, if the Jaguars wanted to, they could finagle that a little bit. They could massage that a little bit. They could mess with teams a little bit. Will they do that? I don't know, but it's something I hadn't thought of until I heard this part of the Rich Eisen program. And again, it was only about a minute clip. I don't know how much they elaborated on it. But yeah, it got me thinking. I said, that is very interesting. Now, when you draft a guy in the top 5, odds are, and you want him to play both positions, you're going to put him out there as much as possible. But if there's a week where maybe he needs more rest than another week, or if there's a week where you see on film that a team is much more vulnerable on their secondary than maybe their wide receiving core, maybe you make them game plan for Travis Hunter, both the offensive and defensive weapon, but you focus most of that time to putting Travis Hunter on one side of the ball to maybe offset what that opposing team has done in practice that week. Just something to think about. as we approach the NFL regular season. By the way, 26 days away from the regular season opener here at Everbank Stadium as the Jaguars welcome in the Carolina Panthers. Right now, my Jaguar training camp one-on-one. There are a lot of new Jaguars, but there's only one that came with James Gladstone from Los Angeles. He was a Ram last year like Gladstone. He's a Jaguar this year like Gladstone. His name is Hunter Long. He's a tight end for the Jaguars, and I went one-on-one with him earlier at the Miller Electric Center.
Now, Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors takes you in the locker room.
Jaguars wrapping up practice at the Miller Electric Center. We got Jaguar tight end Hunter Long with us here on 1010XL. Hunter, how'd it go out there today?
Good, just coming off a game. Got to clean some stuff up and just keep building this thing. It's early on in camp. And just keep gelling as a team, keep building, keep getting rid of the errors and making plays, and that's all you can do.
25 points for the offense on Friday or Saturday night, rather. How do you think it went overall?
Yeah, definitely stuff to clean up. Thankfully it's preseason, so we have time to clean it up, and we will. But definitely flashes of making plays and do more of that and less of making mistakes, and we'll be all right.
You were in Los Angeles last year with James Gladstone. Obviously, he brought you with him here to Jacksonville. What did that mean to come with the GM?
Yeah, it meant a lot, being wanted somewhere. It's always better than not being wanted, But it was awesome, coming here. Mostly new coaching staff, a lot of new guys on the team, building a new culture, a new dynamic as a team together. It's been fun to be a part of. Very
different tight end room than what the fans have seen here the last couple of years with Evan Ingram's departure, Brenton Strange, but a couple of new guys, Johnny Munt, Quentin Morris. Kind of how has that vibe gone in the tight end room so far?
Yeah, it's been great. Tight ends are always a great group of guys. Just meshing, bonding together as a group. Becoming better friends and on and off the field, helps everybody play better. But it's going well. We're pushing each other, out there making plays, so that's all I can ask for.
A couple more for Jaguar tight end Hunter Long as the Jaguars get ready for the New Orleans Saints this Sunday. Obviously, it appears to me in Liam Cohen's system, the tight end need to block. That's a big part of what's going on. Do you take pride in that element?
Oh yeah, take pride in trying to be a well-rounded tight end. Keep building at all phases of the game, but definitely has to block, and I love doing it. When you dominate the line of scrimmage, you're gonna win more football games than you lose, so that's fun.
As a veteran, preseason game 1 compared to preseason game 2, how different do you expect it to be this Sunday for what the fans see, what the guys put out there on the field?
Yeah, we're just building towards the season. Preseason game 2, you just hope it's cleaner and better executed than preseason game 1. That's all I can ask for. So that's what we're striving for and hoping to accomplish this weekend.
As we begin to wrap up, Liam Cohen, Grant Udinski, what's your thought on the head coach, the offensive staff here in Jacksonville?
Yeah, they've been great so far. Leading this group, bringing this group together, installing a new offense is always tricky, especially an offense like this. It's so in-depth and complicated, but it's guys are picking it up. Guys are bought in to the new system, and it's going to pan out for us. We just got to keep building this thing.
Final football question. Travis Hunter, BTJ, Diami, ETN. There's a list of guys I could name. There's speed all over this offense. Do you guys sense that when you're out there?
100%, and we're going to utilize that this year as much as we can, and it helps the tight ends too when they're taking the top off the defense, and we can be outlets underneath. It's good complementary football, and it's really what you're striving for.
Leave us with this. What are your initial thoughts on Jacksonville when Hunter Long's not blocking people and putting people into the ground? What are you doing here?
Yeah, still getting settled in. I like it so far. I love Florida. Weather has been hot, but it's mostly good weather. I haven't done a whole lot, if we're being honest. I've been on Neptune Beach a few times, had dinner out there. It's a great little vibe.
Been pretty busy the last couple of months.
Been pretty busy. Football takes up a lot of the time, so can't be too mad about it.
Well, Hunter, welcome to Jacksonville. Best of luck on Sunday.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
There you go, Hunter Long. I said this yesterday. The one thing I did like about him, he had a drop. Admittedly, you could tell it bothered him on Saturday night. I had to wait 20 minutes yesterday, which was fine. Obviously, I don't care. But I was watching Hunter Long after practice. He went to the jugs machine and just caught dozens of footballs just over and over and over after practice, mind you, after being out there in, 90, 95 degree weather. That's the kind of guys I want on my football team, right? I don't know what that'll mean. Maybe it means nothing. But I found it interesting enough to share with you that a guy that dropped a pass on Saturday then stays after practice 20 minutes catching nonstop balls from that jug machine over off to the side. That was noticeable yesterday. You know, you want to talk about intangibly rich, bringing intangibly rich guys into the ecosystem, as James Gladstone often talks about. Well, that appears to be Hunter Long, which is maybe why James Gladstone brought Hunter Long with him from the Los Angeles Rams 1 season ago. Let's talk about some of the young Jaguar players from preseason game number 1, how they did, how it'll translate moving into the future. Let's talk about Bashel Tutin, LaQuint Allen Jr., a little Wyatt Milam, a little Jonah Monheim, and more. My buddy Ryan Fowler. Ryan's been one of my draft guys for years. He's also now an NFL analyst, and he joins me next to talk about the newest Jaguars, the rookie class and beyond, and how they fared in their preseason debut. A lot of Jaguar talk coming up here in the 9 o'clock hour. It's Hacker After Dark.
From the huddle to the perfect spiral.
We invite you into the lab so that you can truly learn the quarterback position.
The Quarterback Whisperer. He shares his insights Friday mornings on The Drill. Wrapped up by George Moore Chevrolet and Tyson Sound and Security on 1010XL.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
After 3 years, the Hacker Fantasy League is back here in 2025. Thursday night, August the 21st at Twin Peaks on Atlantic and Kernan, the HFL is back. Be listening to Hacker After Dark for your chance to enter.
Here's your 1010XL community calendar of local events and nonprofit groups helping people here at home.
Shuffle up and deal for a cause. Let's go all in to help others out. Join the Hold'em for Life poker tournament coming up September 20th at Blessed Trinity Parish Hall. Every hand helps the Women's Help Center support expectant mothers and newborns.
Find out how you can be part of the cure for blood cancer at the Light the Night Walk at VyStar Ballpark November 22nd. Take the first step at lightthenight.org.
Dreams Come True is a local wish-granting organization giving dreams and special times to local children battling life-threatening illnesses. Find out how you can help at dreamscometrue.org.
City Rescue Mission has been providing food, clothing, and love for over 70 years to the homeless in Jacksonville. If someone you know is struggling, learn more about the City Rescue Mission at crmjax.org.
You can find out how to share your community event at 1010XL.com.
Yo, E.T. here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar, Twin Peaks. Scratch kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge. Come on, somebody.
Let's get the work done.
Training camp is here.
Up, quick feet.
1010XL's training camp coverage is backed by Roland Reach Plumbing and Green Acres Sporting Goods.
Let's go. Here we go. Let's go. It's live now. Let's go.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJax.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Come to Monahan Jewelers store-wide 40 to 50% off sale going on now for a very limited time. Everything on display is 40 to 50% off at Monahan Jewelers. We've bought so much brand new jewelry, we need to make room for it. Diamond jewelry, engagement semi-mounts, colored gemstones, even gold chains. Right now, everything on display at Monahan Jewelers is 40 to 50% off. Jewelry's going quick, so come to Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Yo, E.T. here, and I need you to beat the heat this summer with cool escapes and non-stop fun in Clay County. Tackle indoor adventures head-on. Throw axes at Live by Axe or smash your stress away at Just Smash That. Then kick back with drinks, good food, and fandom vibes at Nakama Anime Bar or Leaderboard Arcade and Bar. Whether you're blowing off steam or just looking to chill, Clay County got your perfect indoor getaway. Find your cool at exploreclay.com. That's exploreclay.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Saints this Sunday, preseason week number 2. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. Let's recap the Steeler game last week. Let's look ahead to New Orleans, and let's talk about some of the younger Jaguar players and how they're performing now 3 weeks in to training camp. Ryan Fowler has been one of my draft guys for years. He also does a terrific job covering both the National Football League and college football, and Ryan's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Ryan, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Ryan. Excited to get football going, man. It's been a long time, but I always appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah, man. It's a busy time of year for everybody, no doubt about it. And let's start right here with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ryan, I think I'm contractually obligated to ask you about Travis Hunter last Saturday night. I think he played 20 plays in total, both sides of the ball, offense and defense. What, if anything, did you take away from Travis Hunter in the preseason opener?
Yeah, I think first things first, Ryan, you know, all of this stuff with Travis, it does come with context, even with all the young guys, that you really want to see. With Travis, it was a minimal workload, bottom line. But I think first things first is that where his impact is going to be immediately, right? That's where when you get into live game action, you can really see where coaches want to have him out there. And right now, it looks like he's going to have an impact on the offensive side of the ball, which for me, I really like. For me coming out this draft process, he was my number one receiver and he was my number one corner. I've never had that before. I don't know if I'll ever do that again in the scouting industry. But the bottom line is that when you look on the outside with Brian Thomas Jr. and the weapons that they have around him, I really like the progression of Brenton Strange. We'll talk about the offensive line in a little bit. But what Travis can do right away to really that 1A, 1B to a Brian Thomas Jr. with Trevor Lawrence slinging that thing around, again, minimal workload against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to see him hopefully a little bit more as the preseason continues to go on and practices as well. But as of right now, the impact that he can have immediately, A to B, on the offensive side of the ball as a dynamic playmaker at all three levels, I don't know how, if you're not a Jaguars coach, if you're James Gladstone, if you're one of the fans out there for Jacksonville looking at this thing, this could be in a really, really fun and exciting year for this Jaguars offense. You're going to have to stop somebody, of course, but the players that they have on offense, headlined by Mr. Travis Hunter, could be really, really fun in 2025 and the years to come.
Ryan, I'm intrigued by Travis Hunter on offense. I'm impressed by Travis Hunter on defense. Everybody's making a big deal out of the Caleb Johnson run where Hunter didn't get him to the ground. If I'm trading up to take a guy number 2 overall and giving up a first-round pick, if that guy shuts down the other opposing wide receivers and does plays on offense, I could care less if he allows a 7-yard toss sweep. He'll learn from that. There was a couple of plays in particular on Saturday where Travis Hunter was literally running the route for the Steeler wide receivers. I think Roman Wilson was one of them. I saw Brian Baldinger on Twitter. Hunter is in the break before Wilson was even in the break. It was weird. And then earlier today, same thing. Hunter's on defense for the Jaguar practice, and a couple of Jaguar wide receivers are running a route, and Hunter's basically waiting for him. He knows what they're doing. So that was really interesting to see from the defensive side of Travis Hunter.
Absolutely. And to your point earlier, Ryan, you mentioned the Caleb Johnson missed tackle. I'm not drafting Travis Hunter. I'm not drafting a corner in the top 3 to tackle. You're going to have an issue if you got a corner on the outside. You consistently want him to be able to be involved as a tackler. You're drafting him to shut down the elite ones in football, right? That's what he is. That's what he can do, and shut down potentially a third of the side of the field for you at the highest level of the game. Now, don't get me wrong, right? Jacksonville, as you know, has some pieces on the outside. I still like Jerry Jones, Tyson Campbell's there, and of course Jordan Lewis. You know what you're going to get as a veteran in this league. But as of right now, when you look at Travis Hunter, yes, we talk about offense, but if your corners aren't doing well, and you got number 12 sitting there for you, and he can also take the ball away and get it back to the offensive side of the ball. That's a special type of playmaker, and I'm happy that it was only limited snaps. I believe he had 6 coverage snaps in that ball game against the Steelers. But you could tell right away, specifically in coverage, that he's just everything's going to translate seamlessly for him. It doesn't look like the game is too fast. He's not worried really about the physicality of some of these bigger players. I would have loved, Ryan, if we saw DK Metcalf out there for Pittsburgh to maybe get some one-on-one reps with him to see how Travis was going to battle that physicality, or if they still had a George Pickens type. But overall, I think he checked all the boxes, as you mentioned, on the defensive side of the ball. And again, I'm not worried about the Caleb Johnson stuff because you did not draft Travis Hunter to flat out tackle and be a linebacker, if you will, on the perimeter. You drafted him to cover people.
A couple more for Ryan Fowler's been one of my NFL draft guys for years. Also does a terrific job covering both the National Football League and the world of college football. Ryan, let's go rapid fire because I got a lot to throw at you. The 2 rookie running backs. Bashal Tutin found the end zone on Saturday night with the assistance from the entire offensive line. And LaQuint Allen Jr., I will tell you this, Ryan, you and I haven't spoke since camp started. That guy runs violently, man. He runs with aggression. There was a little skirmish. In fact, he's been involved in a couple of skirmishes with the Jaguar defense. I get the sense they're tired of tackling him because he has been lowering the boom on some of his teammates. I asked him. I did a one-on-one with him last week, and he credited his parents, basically, for the type of attitude and violence, quite frankly, that he runs the football with, and aggression. But what's your early thought on both Tutin and LaQuint Allen Jr.?
Yeah, exciting young players, Ryan, that are really going to push Travis Etienne. And I will never, ever turn down competition if I'm a GM and I'm James Gladstone. Get young players in the building that are going to push people, whether you're a 6-7-year vet or you're a 2nd or 3rd, 4th-year guy. And I think both Bashal and LaQuint, as you mentioned, are very different players in my mind. You know, you're a high-level athlete in Bashal Tutin, and I think LaQuint Allen, we talked about in the draft process, to where, for me, he had some of the best hands in the entire draft process. Seeing him down live at the Senior Bowl, his ability to route up linebackers, or safeties coming down into the box. He's a guy that's a little bit of a mismatch nightmare. And if you want to run some pony personnel, meaning 2 running backs on the field, whether it's him and Tutin or him and Travis Etienne or Tank Bigsby as well as getting involved, you know, we saw a little bit, right, in that Steelers game, caught 4 passes. So that's a player that's going to expand this playbook for you. And then you look at Bashal to where, yes, he's a physical, thick type of player that really took advantage of his opportunity at Virginia Tech last year after coming over from NCA&T, a small school program. Now he's a player that's probably going to look at not just making this roster, but have an impact in the years to come, and a guy that can really stretch the field for you east-west and then put that foot in the ground and work north-south. So I really like, Ryan, where this offense is going this year. Now it's just taking it from a depth chart, taking it from practices, putting it on the football field, and competing with really the Titans, quote-unquote, really meaning the Texans, if you will, of the AFC South.
Ryan, quickly with LaQuint Allen Jr., in your pre-draft study on him, was there any talk about the aggression that he runs with, the violence that he runs with? I'm telling you, man, he's been knocking people out, and the defense is getting kind of tired of it. There was a pretty good training camp skirmish today. It's not the first one LaQuint Allen Jr. has been involved with. I like that type of passion from a 7th-round rookie running back. Was there any talk about that with him in the pre-draft process?
I think, Ryan, honestly, it's something I wanted to see more of. And that's a good thing. I'm glad he's been popping down there at practice because that's something to where he's a big physical kid. You know, he kind of reminded me of kind of that holding that ball extremely high and tight, almost like a Amir Abdullah type or a Tiki Barber type, to where he's got those high pads. He's a big physical kid to where I wanted to see him play a little bit lower, get that pad level, run through linebacker's chest. And Ryan, you just mentioned it. People don't want to tackle that consistently time after time after time for 60 minutes. Now, no one's saying right now that he's going to be RB1 for this roster, but you have a player that takes advantage of reps and snaps and plays a physical brand of football that you want to see, really taking him on a day 3 flyer type of selection. I love that. I wanted to see more of that from him at Syracuse, and I'm glad he's really involved that and adjusted his game early on in his career.
Final moments with Ryan Fowler. Ryan, not to do an X's and O's breakdown of these two guys, but the Jaguars, in conversations I've had, were very high on the performance of both Wyatt Milam and Jonah Monheim, the 2 rookie offensive linemen. Now, we have talked about Milam was the offensive lineman of the year in the Big 12 last year. He's actually showed quite a lot of versatility. Jonah Monheim has also shown a lot of versatility. And based on the talks I've had with people around the Jaguar organization, they were ecstatic that he was there in round 7. And right now his play is backing up the fact that maybe he should not have been. Why did Monheim fall to round 7, in your opinion?
Yeah, he was an interesting study, really, in this draft process. Because for a lot of people, a lot of scouts I've talked to, everyone mentioned the Michigan game, Ryan. And in that game, you're facing Mason Graham. And there's a lot of opinions on Mason Graham right now. He's going to be this, he's going to be that. But overall, when you look at Jonah, just as far as a guy that even reminded me of one of his teammates that came out a few years ago, in Andrew Voorhees, that went to the Baltimore Ravens and unfortunately suffered an ACL before he was drafted there and slipped in the draft. And Jonah kind of fell on that same timeline, career arc, if you will. But he's a player, specifically within your interior, that one, I really liked in pass pro, and then getting in the ground game to where there's only a few centers at times that can pull in the NFL when you think about the Creed Humphreys, the Tyler Linderbaums of the world, Cam Jurgens in Philadelphia, of course. Jonah Monheim has the foot quickness, the hips to get around and offer you some unique looks along the front 5, along with his ability to be that A to B linear type of offensive lineman to get to the second level and put the linebacker in the turf. So it's good to see both these young guys continuing to compete and produce and showcase to this coaching staff. Yes, we may be rookies. We're different positions. We're versatile players, played at really big programs in USC and West Virginia from Milan's perspective. But they're not just coming in and just stealing a paycheck, not just wearing a jersey, happy that they're, went to big programs and heard their names called. That's the bottom line. So I'm happy for Jonah. I'm happy for Wyatt. But bottom line, I think the slip for Jonah really did come. Again, all my conversations with scouts this year it was not good in the Mason Graham Michigan game. But the rest of the tape, turn on his other games out there for the USC Trojans, and that was a player that, bottom line, can compete up and down the front 5 for you, not be dominant in my mind. I think he was still an early day 3 pick. Enjoyed seeing him at the Senior Bowl as well, but a guy I think overall is going to have an impact here in Jacksonville for a long time.
Ryan, we're out of time. 90 seconds, final question. I talked with Tyler Lacey earlier today, and I've mentioned this in the past as training camp has gotten underway. Anton Harrison, Brenton Strange, Tank Bigsby, Ventrell Miller, Tyler Lacey, Yasir Abdullah, Antonio Johnson, and Parker Washington. That literally is the core of this Jaguar football team. Every one of those guys was in the 2023 draft class. I'll give Trent Baalke his flowers on that. That was a good draft class, it appears. And it goes to show you that you can certainly not judge a draft until 2 or 3 years after the fact.
100%. 100%. I remember we sat here a couple of years ago, Ryan, and we talked about Antonio Johnson. Slipped to the 5th round. I had a late day 2 grade on Antonio. Someone that's continued to make an impact. Tyler Lacey, obviously coming out of Oklahoma State. A guy I think that got better specifically as his years continued, now working into year 3 already. I mentioned Brenton Strange earlier. Bottom line, I think he's taken a step this offseason. I think he looks quicker. And I think with the presence of specifically a Travis Hunter and a Bayshul and a LaQuinn Allen out in the backfield, that 300 monster kind of, if you will, of 3 young players, you're going to be versatile in your packages. And football, Ryan, is all about matchups, as you know. And for Brenton Strange against linebackers or less physical safeties potentially that just want to play center field 15 yards off the ball, now you got to come into the contact window. That's a player I think is going to exceed some expectations this year. So, as you said, I know there's a sour taste in the mouth of a lot of people in Jacksonville on Trent Baalke, but absolutely, this 2023 class, this is where you win Super Bowls. You got to win in the draft. And he did a heck of a job adding players in 23.
Ryan Fowler does a great job with the NFL draft coverage. He's also an analyst on both the National Football League and the world of college football. Ryan, I know you're busy. Thank you for taking time out. We'll talk again as the regular season approaches.
Absolutely. Thanks as always, Ryan.
They were right. It could have waited. I can't believe it happened to me. Reaching to check my phone. Now my family has to hear that I'm never coming home again.
Officer?
I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
Every day, 9 people on Florida roadways don't make it home. I was one of the people that didn't make it home.
Ride with Do Not Disturb. Every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
Bueller. Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, got a minute?
Always. What's on your mind?
This time of year, my air conditioner is running non-stop. Hot all day, hot all night. It has to run constantly just to keep up.
Well, that's what they do.
But if something happens to it in the middle of a 2-week heat wave, I'm in trouble, Jason. I can't wait 3 days or 2 days or even the next day for service. If you can't get someone here today, I'm sweating by tonight. What if it breaks, Jason?
You call me, pal. That's what we do. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
But you're probably swamped with calls from everyone else's AC that ran nonstop and then broke in a heat wave, so they called you because that's what you do.
But we always have room for an emergency. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we have techs standing by because we know these things happen.
So I don't need to worry. Wow. That time you calmed me down without even using the sunglasses.
Oh, I was reaching for them.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
I know you love sports, so why not take that passion and make a difference in your community as a volunteer coach with the YMCA? Whether it's soccer, basketball, volleyball, or flag football, the Y is always looking for positive role models to help kids grow in both skills and character. Even if you've got no coaching experience, that's fine. We'll provide the training. Step up, give back, and be the coach that makes a difference. To volunteer, visit your local Y or fcymca.org.
Did you know that for every inch of rain on a 2,000 square foot roof, 1,500 gallons come off the eaves of the roof? Call Clearwater Seamless Gutters and Drainage, and we'll design a plan using our Clearwater Seamless Gutters, and we'll connect those gutters to a Clearwater drainage system to solve your erosion and standing water issues.
Clearwater Seamless Gutters. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at gutters.
And drainage, too.
SeamlessGuttersJacksonville.com.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron. Totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens. Also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
San Jose Collision in Mandarin is proud to be an I-CAR Gold Class collision repair facility. That means they meet the industry's highest training standards. Experience the difference at San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
You'll always feel good when you send someone a Kuhn Flowers floral or plant arrangement. This is JJ with 1010XL, and no matter what the reason, Kuhn Flowers has always come through for me. Order online at KuhnFlowers.com.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Boy, you look at that sports calendar. We've been so caught up in Jaguar training camp that all of a sudden we're entering the middle point of August, and we are roughly 2.5 weeks away from the first big Saturday of college football, which includes Alabama and Florida State. over at Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee. Again, 2.5 weeks away from the Tide and the Seminoles. One of our main guys when it comes to Florida State is Kurt Weiler. You can now read his terrific work at Tomahawk Nation, and Kurt is always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Kurt, how you doing?
I'm doing well. It's about time to get that football itch. I'm definitely ready to get back into the games for sure.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And look, camp's been going on for a couple of weeks, but you and your colleagues that cover Florida State have only seen a couple of periods because that's all Florida State is allowing the media to watch. A lot's been made of that, Kurt. What's your reaction to Mike Norvell basically blacking out the media, which in turn doesn't give the fans a whole lot of information?
Yeah, I mean, the fact is there have been a lot of mysteries about this team. I think there's optimism in some spots. I think there's some questions in some spots. And the truth is, we're going to have to rely on what you hear from talking to people who are out there or from what the coaches and players are saying until we see it. And it kind of leaves those questions less answered until the first game. I mean, it's tough because Mike Norvell historically has been, honestly, I think the most accessible, like his program has been the most accessible of any college football program. I mean, he let us into almost every preseason practice in its entirety to watch and report on. We got to watch 2 practices every game week and report on them. And it seems like that's changing. And I don't necessarily think it is a reflection on anything in regard to what he thinks about the team or anything, because they let us watch 2 practices a week last year, even when things are going so poorly. But it doesn't project confidence to change your media policy and your access policy like that so severely going into this year, where kind of Florida State's at the other end of the spectrum now and is almost more closed than most programs.
Is it a panic move in a response to the 2-10 nightmare that was 2024?
I don't think a panic move, no. I mean, because again, we would have lost it at some point midway during that season if that was the case. I mean, I think there are a lot of parts of it. I think, he brought in a longtime head coach in Gus Malzahn who was less media friendly, and I imagine Gus might have had some advice for him on the matter, and I imagine he just wanted to change things up. I mean, a lot of things have changed around the program. He's not the offensive play caller anymore. He brought in 6 new coaches. I mean, there have been sweeping changes. This just feels like one of them, but I don't think I would label it as a panic move so much as just trying new things.
Kurt Weiler, Tomahawk Nation, with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. All right, what we do know is that Thomas Castellanos is going to be the starting quarterback of this football team. By all indications, Kurt, 2 weeks in, how has Castellanos looked?
I think he has been a lot of what they wanted to see. I mean, I think so much of why they brought him in, he still talked about the concerns with how his Boston College tenure ended. I think the fact of the matter is there's not an offense based around his skill set. Bill O'Brien wanted a pocket passer. That is not Thomas Castellanos. He's now in an offense that is going to be built around his athleticism and what that can do for the run game and extending plays and all sorts of things like that. It sounds like the returns have been decently good. I mean, I think Mike Norvell said, I think he threw his first interception of camp in like a live setting last night in their second scrimmage. And Frank bounced back and I think led back-to-back scoring drives right after that interception. I think he hasn't been perfect by any means. I think he is somewhat limited as a passer, but I think he's been doing enough as a passer to keep defenses honest and let his legs play, and it really opens up the run game. I think we've heard a lot about the run game, which frankly that needs to improve as much as anything. And that's the offensive line plays a role in that, the running backs play a role in that, the receivers and tight ends blocking play a role in that. And I think that, frankly, is going to be as much of a tone setter for the offense as anything.
I mean, of the available guys, whether at the program or via the portal, that Florida State could have realistically brought in to run Gus Malzahn's offense, Castellanos was at the top of the list, correct?
Yeah, I think so. I think they had some exploratory interest in a few other QBs early in the process, but pretty quickly they narrowed it on him. Castellanos from Waycross, Georgia, from South Georgia, signed with Gus Malzahn and UCF out of high school. He left because he thought he was ready to start, and he went and started 2 years at Boston College and then left, obviously. But I think he signed with him for a reason, and I think that was a big part of why they reunited as well.
Kurt Weiler, Tomahawk Nation. Kurt, again, we're 2.5 weeks from Alabama. We're about 2 weeks or so into camp. Let's talk about a positive and a negative. From what you're hearing, what you've seen, what has been the biggest positive, maybe outside of Castellanos, when it comes to this Florida State roster?
I think we heard some good things about the offensive line and how that's come together in a major way. Of like, I think they had a few guys who transfers they brought in who are out for spring, and so I think we kind of didn't get much of a look at the starting five in spring, which was tough entering summer. But they healed up, and I think got some work in like outside of a practice setting over the summer, and I think they've really hit the ground running this fall, and I think that's opened things up for the run game. And we've heard a lot, so much that I just like, I thought coming into preseason, Usman Kromah was going to be a freshman who contributes right away at running back, and it's only been confirmed from how he's been talked up, the plays he's made as a rusher, as a blocker in all facets. I mean, he was kind of low key, maybe even high key, the most important recruiting win of FSU's 2025 class, flipping in from Georgia. And it sounds like that's going to pay immediate dividends. I think if I had to point to a negative, it's interesting. I mean, after both scrimmages, Tony White's kind of made a pointed point of saying there have been some guys who I didn't expect a ton of in this scrimmage who really flashed, and there was guys who I expected a good bit of who didn't. And I think he hasn't gone out of his way to name names, but I think he has. By talking about guys who stood out in a good way and omitting maybe some other names, you begin to pick up on maybe some veterans, guys like Shaheem Brown, guys like Conrad Hussey, who are the vets on the defense at a few positions and maybe aren't going to be in position to play as much as you thought they would because they're getting passed by guys who are performing at a higher level. Now, I will say, I think Florida State fans that's music to their ears. Like, I think one of many problems they had with Adam Fuller was he would stick with guys who weren't performing and not give other people a shot. And so, I mean, I think in a way that's music to the ears of the fan base, I think, and you've heard quite a few names. I don't want to lump it as the defense has underperformed, but Tony White has definitely come into both his post-scrimmage press conferences and kind of lit a fire under some guys and vets who I think he thought were going to be key rotational players. And maybe as preseason going on, that's not as true.
Final moments, Kurt Weiler, Tomahawk Nation. He's one of our main guys when it comes to Florida State athletics. Again, the Seminoles and the Crimson Tide about 2.5 weeks away over there in Tallahassee. Kurt, as we begin to wrap up, you personally, your biggest position of concern 2.5 weeks out from the opener, and maybe a position that you think is the strength of Florida State 2.5 weeks out?
I'll be honest. I think I like a lot of their top-end talent, like at the top of the depth chart across the board. I think my concern with this team is the depth. I think they kind of need some good injury luck, or it's going to be guys who haven't proven it stepping up. I mean, I think the depth of the receiver room concerns me. I think Deuce Robinson, I think, has been a hit out of USC transfer and FSU legacy. Squirrel White was impactful at Tennessee. He was somewhat limited in spring, but it sounds like he's been impressed this preseason as well. And I think you've heard about Javen Boggs and Elijah Moore and a few other guys. But after last year, there's a little bit of, with the depth of that room, I need to see it. And so I'll just have to wait to see it with my own two eyes on August 30th and see what it looks like for sure. I think, a position, I think the secondary is coming together pretty well. I mean, they've got a lot of guys, and you hear a lot of names there. You've heard a lot about Earl Little Jr., what he's done in stepping into the rover position. You've heard a lot about Jeremiah Wilson as they post-spring transfer they brought in from Houston, who had 4 interceptions last year at Houston. And you've heard about how quickly and immediately he's kind of become a leader by example, who has you watch an interview of his, he just has a pretty incredible energy, and he's backed it up on the field too. A number of other guys. I mean, that feels like of any spot on the roster, I think the secondary is where I think there are probably more capable players than maybe like rotational roles to go around. And that might be where the toughest competition there is.
Kurt, leave us with this. We got about 60 seconds. 2.5 weeks out from Alabama. What is the vibe around the fan base, the football program about that game? I mean, I hear a lot of Florida State fans over here in Jacksonville saying, let's just be competitive. I mean, obviously, you're not going to hear that around the program. Do they think they can be on the same field with Alabama? Obviously, Tommy Castellanos does.
He does. He was trying to talk up his teammates. Yeah, I think I would say it's mixed. I think the biggest thing, like you said, I think mainly what I hear from the non-fringes, I think there are some people who are totally out on Mike Norvell and who think that who just aren't going to be convinced anything good can happen for him. I think there are some people who think they're going to beat Alabama. I think the truth is, I mean, when they're 13.5-point underdogs or something in that neighborhood, I don't have the line in front of me. I think a lot of people, it is be competitive, because the truth is, your schedule, you have 4 tough games against Alabama, against Clemson, against Miami, against Florida. And you have 8 that, like, if you can compete against Alabama, whether you win or not, if you can at least be in the conversation and not get blown off the field, you feel decently good about each of those other 8 games on the schedule, you think. So I think the rational people and the majority of people is very much an attitude of just be marginally competitive. You don't have to beat them. Beating them would be awesome, but I don't think I would hope no one's opinion of Mike Norvell changes if they have a close loss to Alabama.
Kurt, tell the good folks and Florida State fans over here in Jacksonville about Tomahawk Nation, your new venture, and where people can read your work.
Yeah, we're on the SB Nation network. I'm back. I was working for Tomahawk Nation years ago. I'm back now writing specifically features and columns, which is some of my favorite stuff to write. If you enjoyed my writing before at my other places I've worked, you can read it now for free on Tomahawk Nation. We have no memberships, no subscriptions, nothing like that. And if you've wanted to read my stuff and haven't wanted to pay for a subscription, now you don't have to. It'd be greatly appreciated.
There you go. Kurt Weiler of Tomahawk Nation. Kurt, I know you're busy. Thank you for the time. We'll talk again soon, pal.
Sounds good, Ryan. Appreciate it.
And thank you to Kurt Weiler, Tomahawk Nation, for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark. Checking in on Florida State fall practice as the Seminoles get ready for the Alabama Crimson Tide. 18 days from today, 2 weeks from Saturday, August 30th, over there at Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee. Florida State will be a big underdog at home in the season opener. We'll see if they can pull off what would be a pretty big upset to begin the 2025 college football season. So we certainly spent some time on Florida State, but as you can imagine, it was mostly Jacksonville Jaguar related. I was down at the Miller Electric Center earlier today for a pretty spirited Jaguar practice, a pretty physical Jaguar practice. Had the opportunity to catch up with Jaguar defensive lineman Tyler Lacey. Again, tackling to the ground, goal line situations, a little fight, skirmish broke out. We're kind of at that time. These are the dog days of training camp. The guys are hot. They're tired of competing against the same person each and every day, and you see that from time to time. But I did think there was some good work being put in, particularly by Parker Washington. He's been sensational. I thought Travis Hunter had a good day as a defensive back today. So I talked a lot of Jaguars, as we will each and every night right here on Hacker After Dark. Well, that will just about do it, man. Crazy busy Tuesday night. Certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We have a ton of people to thank. Again, Kurt Weiler, Tomahawk Nation, one of our main guys when it comes to Florida State athletics. Thank you to my buddy Ryan Fowler, NFL draft, NFL, and college football analyst. I've had Ryan on for years. Always appreciate his perspective when it comes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. My buddy Jamal St. Cyr.